Matsyendranath and Dattatreya have been held as the greatest yogis in the tradition. A pot, a jug of wine on one lap, and a young woman on his other lap. He just looked. Dattatreya looked drunk. This is a demo for Parashurama, because he's a man of immense capabilities. In certain schools of yoga, they classify yogis into three categories. These are referred to as Mandha, Madhyama and Uttama. Mandha means he has tasted what it means to be conscious. He has tasted the source of creation, he has known the oneness, but not able to keep it throughout the day. He needs to remind himself. When he reminds himself, when he's aware, he's there. When he is not aware, he loses that whole experience. Nobody can be effortfully conscious for 24 hours. If you're making an effort to be conscious, if you can manage it for a few seconds or minutes, it's a big thing. Otherwise it'll go all over the place. So the first stage of a yogi is called Mandha. The second stage of the yogi is called Madhyama, that means medium. He is constantly in perception, but the inner dimension and what's beyond is in perception, but what is here, he cannot manage. You have, being in India, definitely you have heard of various yogis who were worshipped, but they were absolutely incapable of anything in their life. Many of them at a certain phases of their life, they even had to be reminded to eat and go to the toilet. Even that had to be taken care of. They became like helpless infants. But they were in a fantastic state within themselves. But however fantastic it is, you cannot remain in that state because being disconnected from the physical world, you cannot remain in the physical body. If you have to maintain your physical body, you must have some competence with the physical world, otherwise you cannot manage it. The third state of a yogi is constantly in perception of the ultimate. At the same time, he's perfectly in tune with the outside. To an extent, you do not know whether he is really a yogi or not. Dattatreya, you heard of Dattatreya? Dattatreya? That's some good news. Because Matsyendranath and Dattatreya have been held as the greatest yogis in the tradition among all a galaxy of realized beings. These two have been held as the greatest among them. Matsyendranath, because of the way he existed, people consider him as the reincarnation of Shiva. With Dattatreya, people around him said he is the reincarnation of Shiva, Vishnu and Brahma at once. This is people's way of expressing it. When they saw something about that person, though he's in the human form, nothing human at all, this doesn't mean he's inhuman. Yes, definitely not human. So when they saw such qualities, they could only compare him to Shiva, Vishnu, Brahma like this. They said he is the reincarnation of all the three. So sometimes you will see Dattatreya's images with 3 heads because he is the reincarnation of all the three. Dattatreya lived a very enigmatic life. Even today, the clan which grew out of him, they follow certain things, a powerful clan. You might have… definitely you heard of Kanfats. These are the worshippers of Dattatreya. Even today they walk around with black dogs. Dattatreya always had black dogs around him, spotlessly black. I will not go into this dog business. There's a whole lot of things about it. He used dog in a certain way. You know, if you have a dog at home, he's little more perceptive than you. Yes or no? In smell, in hearing, in vision, he seems to be little better than you. So Dattatreya took the dog to a different level and he chose those dogs which were completely jet black. Even today, the Kanfats have these dogs with them. They won't let their dogs walk, they will carry them on their shoulders and walk, big dogs. Because it was Dattatreya's pet, so they treat him very special. After 200 generations, still what he set up still runs. Still it's one of the largest clans of spiritual seekers. When Parashurama, the axe hacker, anything that he saw, he hacked up with his axe, including his mother. A man of very volatile emotions. In many ways, without participating in it, Parashuram decided the fate of Kurukshetra war. He fixed Karna in the very beginning. He had enormous capabilities, but his emotional volatility did not allow him to perceive the divine every moment of his life. Off and on, bad weather most of the time. So he went to many gurus or teachers. When he found they did not have what he's looking for, he hacked them. Yes. And then he came towards Dattatreya. People told him, Dattatreya is your answer. He came, still with his axe. When he was coming towards Dattatreya's place, many other spiritual seekers had gathered. They looked into his ashram and were running away. This is not a spiritual place. When Parashuram walked in to Dattatreya's abode, he looked. Here was a man who was sitting with a pot, a jug of wine on one lap and a young woman on his other lap. He just looked. Dattatreya looked drunk. Parashuram looked at him, put his axe down for the last time and prostrated himself. Everybody else left. The moment he prostrated, the jug of wine and the woman disappeared, and Dattatreya was just sitting there with his dog at his feet. Parashuram found his salvation to Dattatreya. This is a demo for Parashurama because he's a man of immense capabilities, but this capability is finding expression in anger, finding expression in a state of emotional volatility that it always finds negative expression, tremendous power, finding negative expression. So Dattatreya employed a certain ploy, and when Parashurama could see beyond the wine and the woman and his drunkenness and still know that Dattatreya was constantly in touch with the divine, that moment became his opening. If he was that perceptive right through his life, a lot of people would have been spared the axe.
Sadhguru, in your new book, Karma, you explain that karma just means action, that there's no such thing as a system of rewards and punishments for your good deeds and your bad deeds after you die, that there is no such thing as a divine ledger in the sky where all of your accounts are being kept as to how angry God or the gods are. Do you think that the reason that the belief that karma is a system of rewards and punishments, a misunderstanding that's been going on for millennium, do you think that that continues to thrive because there's a gang of unemployed souls on the other side who just think it's a really fun role to play, to be divinely engaged royal accountants taking care of all those ledgers?
Namaskaram, George. I know you're talking about those privileged, unemployed people. Unemployment is a curse at one stage of life, but once they get employed, everybody is looking how to get unemployed because everybody is looking forward for a vacation, which is unemployment, a weekend, which is unemployment. Because they are not interested in what they are doing, they are only interested in what they will get out of it. So thank God it's Friday, you know. So, about karma. Karma is not definitely about reward and punishment. So those who are in a better economic condition or social condition, they would like to believe they've done good karma elsewhere, so they're enjoying everything here now. No. You must understand, karma is not necessarily about the past, it is about now. So one's experience of life is entirely decided by one's karma. One's situation in which one exists may not be entirely determined by one's karma, because situation is of the times, of geography. Like 1,000 years ago, if we were here, we wouldn't be in this kind of situation. Does it mean to say we had bad karma then and now we have good karma? No. So let us not judge karma by one's situations. Yes, there also it is involved, but situation is more of a collective karma than of individual karma. Individual karma is definitely there, but collective karma is there because the time and the place where you are determines a lot of things. But internally, in terms of human experience, how joyful you are, how peaceful you are, how loving you are, how wonderful is your experience of life, this is entirely your karma, because the pleasantness of the body, the pleasantness of the mind, the pleasantness of our life energies and our emotions, are 100% in our hands. Human experience happens from within. That means it's entirely our karma. We can make it the way we want. If we make our human experience very pleasant on all these four levels, in body we are healthy and exuberant, in mind we are peaceful and joyful, in emotion we are loving and compassionate, in our life energies we are blissful and edging on ecstasy. Now outside situations will not determine the nature of our experience. Outside situations we can strive to improve, we can strive to change, but as I said, in the outside situation there are many pieces, all those pieces don't belong to us. We also are one piece. Depending upon one's skill, intelligence, capability and willingness to strive, that piece can be enhanced, but it is never 100% yours or mine, the outside situation. It is also the times in which we exist which determines what kind of situations we are in. But human experience is entirely our karma and we must take charge of that first. If we take charge of this, our ability to create external situations also the way we want it is greatly enhanced. So karma is not about punishment and reward. Karma is not a book written somewhere, some ledger that somebody is looking at and punishing you or rewarding you. This gift culture from heaven must go because for all the things that you do very easily, you can pass this off as God's will. Many terrible things men have done have always been passed off as divine will, all right? So it's very important that we move people from religious beliefs to a responsible existence here, because this is a brief life. If we want to make something out of this must be our making. This is our karma. This is what karma means. Karma means, when I say my life is my karma, it means that my life is my making. If I am doing well, it's me. If I am not doing well, it's me. If I have a fantastic experience here, it's me. If I have a miserable experience, it's me. This much straightness of life everybody must get, that you are straight enough to admit that both your success and failure, your joy and misery, especially the inner things of joy and misery, peacefulness and turmoil, these things are 100% your making. This is what karma means. Karma is not a ledger up there. This body, this mind, this energy is our ledger. Here it is and it plays out in so many ways. If we perform this moment's karma consciously, whatever our past karma, there is a way to transcend.
Well, if you made it here, it shows you're ready to change. You're done with running. This kind of attention is rare, it's precious. Drop your city in the comments, and if you'd like, share this with someone who's also thirsty for clarity. Thank you, Big Hug, and see you soon.